Hi everyone, I'm Soraya Rhea, and thanks for tuning in for my review of Married at First Sight Season 10, Episode 11. Hi guys. Yes, okay, I know I've been away for so long, and surprise! I'm back, and I'm here, and I know where have I been, and okay. And first of all, let me also introduce myself to my first episode / review, not live but unedited. It's kind of like the YouTube world's or reviewing world or YouTube world's version of like Unplugged, the musician world's Unplugged. When they do that, unedited. Yeah. So, I'll explain that in a second. But yes, where have I been? Y'all see y'all see where the world done went with everything. I mean, don't we have even more time to just watch MOFFs and watch reviews and even make YouTube videos and make reviews and all that stuff? Yes, we do now. But things have just gotten so crazy just in the last week, and but yes, I fell off the bandwagon, or the wagon, about a week and a half ago or whatever, in the reviewing world, my schedule. Kind of long story short, try. My computer went haywire, so I was not able to finish saving or editing the episode for, I guess, episode 9. And it just, like, it was trying to say that I was using all of my memory, and I guess I have 250 gigs of memory on my computer, and it was saying 200 plus worth coming from like iMovie, and I'm like, no, it's not, Anyway, it was this whole thing. It just went crazy, and I had all these plans to like make an appointment and go to the Apple store or whatever. And like just as I was planning to do that, then things kind of like started to slow down, and it was like, avoid big crowds, avoid malls and whatever. So like I never actually got to go. But then just as that was kind of happening, then I actually didn't end up figuring out what went on with my computer, but it did kind of resolve itself by me doing the recommendations on the computer. But I can't even tell you. Something's wrong with my computer. Let me just tell you that. So I hope at some point, I don't even know. Guys, who knows what is going to happen with my computer? Pray. Pray, church. It seemed to resolve itself. I have an external hard drive, but the thing is, it's also not even downloading to it, so I'm not even sure how that's going to happen. But hopefully something will work out with that. Anyway, with that said, it looks like I'll be able to, save some things. But what I'm going to do, because I was like, I want to get something up for you guys as quickly as possible, I just have to do an unedited version, because I'm like, to do something edited is just going to take too much time, and then I'm going to run into the same just backed up ordeal. So this is going to be the closest thing to like a live, because then that was my other kind of idea, right? And a few of you kind of asked about that as well, like, do I do lives or whatever? So I was like, you know what, I'm definitely open up to do a live, even though I was like, well, I don't really have a lot of subscribers for that, but I'm like, at least with a live, you can do that. However many people will join you on the live is whatever, but at least it'll, like, you'll stream it, and then it'll record, or it'll upload to YouTube, and then whoever will watch it afterwards, it'll count as, the episode for that week. So I wanted to actually go live one day last week to kind of be like, hey guys, look, I'm here, and just kind of like explain what's going on. I had no idea there was like, I can't just press that go live button and just be like, hey guys, da, 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 da. No. There's like steps and software you have to download and something about a YouTube key so that somebody can't just go live under your channel, which I'm like, that can happen. So I have to go do some YouTube research to find out what all of that means. This will be a less refined version of my reviews. Sorry, I'm gonna try to be, I'm long-winded, you guys, okay? I am. Look at my intro, already 6 minutes, all right? So I just gotta cut it off. Let's get started, all right. All right. Jessica and Austin. She was annoying me this week. Annoying, okay? It's everybody's 1 month anniversary. Yay, yay, yay. We made it halfway through, and it's been 30 days since everybody got married. Congratulations to 2 of the couples, is what I can say, honestly. And Jessica and Austin, of course, are one of the couples that I can say that to, honestly. But so each couple gets like a little congratulatory basket of gifts and of memory paraphernalia from their wedding, and they pretty much do that every year. Photo album of their wedding 30 days ago. They gave them a copy of their vows written out, which was nice. And I think they gave them, not everybody or whatever, gave them video clips of the wedding ceremony for them to watch together, which was sweet. So it was definitely a walk down memory lane. And of course they all commented, well, at least the happy ones commented on, oh, this feels like ages ago, although it was just 30 days. And, you know, Jessica and Austin, because they're in a happy, healthy relationship, they are, you know, just basking in how happy they are and that they would do it all over again. But remember, Jessica is eagerly awaiting Austin's I love you. And, you know, it's it's not understandable. It's, no, I don't understand you, Jessica. What is understandable is that it can often be the lady in the relationship. It can often be, you know, the woman who either feels that she loves the man first. Well, maybe, okay, I don't know if it's that's necessarily, it's that the woman feels it first, but maybe she just wants the man to say it first. She doesn't want to say it first. She wants the man to like commit first, and then, you know, to just, you lay the claim and then she will follow suit. You know, you man, you determine the relationship, the DTR conversation first. Because if the woman does it, then, you know, he's going to run off screaming, you know, this is almost like maybe the equivalent version of it. But it's awkward because they're already married. So you would think that marriage is the safety net. I don't know. What do you think? So whatever. They have dinner together, and so she's like, so Austin, you know, when Pastor Cal talks about growing in love, do you feel like we're there? Do you feel like you're doing that? You know, and Austin is hesitant to use the word love because I think, not because he doesn't feel that way, because he does say, yeah, I do believe that we are experiencing what he's talking about, the growing in love experience. But I think that he only feels that way because I think that he knows that she is just gunning for him to say, all right, I love you, because they already had this conversation, and he was like, you know, he said I love you before in a relationship, and it was like a year. I think it was after a year, or he already told her that, like, yes, you know, he can't see himself saying I love you for probably quite some time. And he wants that time, and he doesn't want to be rushed into it. And I don't know why you can't respect that. Especially because why, like, I understand the safety around that, but I'm like, if he's giving you all the actions and you do have the marriage covenant, I mean, I don't know. I just, if he's showing you all the actions consistently, do the words I love you, do you feel safer with that? I don't know. Because what if somebody says I love you easy, but then they don't show you any of the actions? I don't know. I mean, I understand everybody wants the full and complete package. I get that, but I don't know. I guess to me, don't the consistent actions of the person mean more, at least initially? I'm not saying that you don't ever have to say the words. The words should come, and they need to come. They do. Words of affirmation are, even if, like, of all the love languages, it doesn't mean that if something isn't your love language, that doesn't mean that you should never dabble in any of the other love languages. All of them need to be used at some point, but you know, I just think that you give other things time, you know. So anyway, so their evening ended where, after they went out to dinner, and it was a good time, it was a lovely time, she says in her personal interview that the evening would have been perfect if he just said, I love you. And that made me just think that, okay, she's got a little bit of Disney wrapped up in her mind. Like, she's the perfect. Anytime you use the word perfect, I don't like that. Where should we use the word perfect? Where can we safely use the word perfect? Perfectly imperfect? Maybe? I didn't like that. I mean, she said it, you know, slightly jokingly. You know, the evening would have just been perfect if he just said it. Because in her mind, she says, I know he feels it. I know he feels it, but like, it's like she's saying that he's like holding back, like he just won't let himself go. And my thing is, well, if he's still holding back and he just won't let himself say it, then it's still not time for him. And he already said it, because he already told her, like, in his logical mind, it's like, it's still logical, like, but it's only been a month. Then give the boy time. Yes. Let him say, you know, and maybe he's also thinking about it that it's just a TV show, and he doesn't want to be showing himself on a TV show saying after 1 month, I fell in love with this girl on TV, you know, after a month. Yes. You know, I'd still question you, Austin. I sure would. Anyway, so Jessica annoyed me a little bit this week, so I need her to calm down. And if she doesn't calm down a little bit, Austin's gonna find her annoying. So anyway, but they're still a good, solid couple, though. They definitely are. So keep pressing on, guys. Moving on to Derek and Katie. Okay, so again, 1 month celebration, whatever. But so they kind of start off more so with a conflict, and at least I'm gonna start there and then, you know, address their 1 month dinner. Katie, this was a text message conversation, I realized towards the end. Katie let Derek know, I'm gonna keep my townhouse in, you know, or her place in her townhouse, because she's still not, you know, she doesn't add this, but that's what she means by keeping her place. You know, she's still not convinced about living with him. Now, Derek clearly doesn't need the I love you, because he's the one being held up. And, you know, so how is that going to make him feel? He's fine living his roommates. So, you know, he's frustrated, la la la. It's text messaging, they're at work or he's at work or whatever. It ends with him saying, no offense, but F you. You know, I don't get the cursing at. And Katie said once that happened, she was not happy and she realized like, oh, so this is a new expectation for myself. I do not want to be cursed at. You know, clearly not by my husband. So that's not going to fly. So I was like, good, Katie, stand up for yourself. Let that expectation be known and, you know, hold fast to that. So then apparently, I believe that came first. Then she said she's checked out. Or she said she's checked out first and then he came with the FU. I don't know. Either way, you know, none of that should have gone down, you know. But they had this conversation in person at dinner. And what was good was that, you know, maybe it was also good that they talked about it in public. So like their voices never really were raised. And they really took turns and were able to say, well, I didn't like when you did this. Well, I don't like when you did that. Well, this is why I reacted this way. Well, then that's why I reacted this way because you said this. Well, then this came first. You know, and once they all kind of said their side, and because they took turns, they were able to then hear each other. And I guess because they both had enough respect for each other, they were able to hear each other without taking too much offense. And then he presented her with his 1 month gift. And that's what all the husbands actually did. They all, it looked like it was just a husband's giving gift to the wives. In past seasons, it's been a mutual like gift giving on both sides. So that's, you know, that was interesting as well. So, I mean, Derek pulled out all the stops. I mean, he was like, oh, you know, eventually we're going to go see your favorite artist, which I guess you can't advertise for the artist. So we don't know who the artist is. We just know that the artist is going to be in Nashville some weekend in the future, which unless that person already performed and they already saw the person in perform, you know, if it's any time around now, Katie, that performance might be canceled currently. So I hope y'all went already. I hope it was in the winter at some point or in the fall. I hope that show was already, you know, I hope that was that y'all went already, you know, with this. Ooh, girl. We gonna be all right, y'all, in quarantine. We gonna be all right. Social distancing. Can't even go to church. So anyway, and Katie was just, the tears started flowing. Once the tears started flowing, Katie was just like, F what? No offense, what? She didn't even remember how her husband disrespected her. And then he was like, there was tickets to something else, or the other gift was something else. It's another kind of trip or something else. And it was nice. Derek pulled out all the stops, and then they ended their day. I mean, nicer than any of the other couples. Derek and his big self got into the tub, which I do think was spacious. Him and Katie had a jolly old time and had a bubble bath together. The only thing that they said was just like, y'all, different strokes for different folks. Okay. They had a little smorgasbord platter in the bathroom and the tray was on the toilet. It's not even about in the time of coronavirus. It's just any time. I cannot eat in the bathroom. That's not even a sentence for me to say. I do not eat in the bathroom. I don't consume food. It just doesn't happen. It's like, the tray was on the toilet. Anyway, they were eating some of my favorite little snacks, chocolate covered strawberries. I mean, that is just yum, yum. So that was nice, just very nice and sweet, and they were loving it. But I can't get with toilet tray. It has to be something where it's a hotel situation where there's a tub in the corner of like the suite, and then where the sink is on the outside and in the corner of the bedroom. And then there's the shower and the toilet that is completely separate and closed off by a door. That is fine. Like, that's okay. I can't do anything else. Anyway. Moving on. I will just say, so good for them for working things out. So that's where I will say that Katie and Derek are definitely still a healthy couple, because they're coming up and meeting opposition. They're meeting obstacles, but they are able to get over them. They are able to overcome. They have tools that they've been able to work through. Katie has definitely been showing herself as somebody that, even though she's every now and again like showing her maturity a little bit, but like she's definitely showing like, okay, I can work through this. I can listen. I can definitely, proud of you, Katie. Go ahead, girl. Derek still needs to not say everything that's on his mind. And don't be cursing at your woman. What is wrong with you? Moving on. All right, let's Mika and Michael. Oh, y'all. New hair, who dis? New hair, who dis? It's me. Mika and Michael. All right, because I didn't do a review yet for episode 10. By the way, I will eventually post my edited review of episode 9, right? Yes, episode 9, once that is actually finished, like editing, because remember that was the whole thing that got stuck in the computer. But once that's finished, and then I will upload that and all that. Yeah. But what happened with last week, because that was not, I obviously have not done a review of that. Michael's a big old liar, right? Michael's a big old liar. He ain't no yoga teacher. You ain't no yoga teacher. Michael, you a liar. You a pathological liar. Michael, and I believe, Michael, has probably been lying since he was a child. And unfortunately, this is just like a real small recap / opinion from what I would have said in an episode 10 recap. What I don't like is that, again, the expert, Dr. Pepper, made it seem as though Michael's little lying was something that was suddenly new in his marriage, because he suddenly became nervous and uncomfortable. He suddenly felt insecure in his new space in life of being a married man, and suddenly decided to start telling lies. Because remember last week he admitted that he did tell lies in his marriage. He finally admitted last week, even though he did not admit what were those lies. He just admitted that, yes, I did tell lies. And he did not look Mika in the face. He did not officially apologize to her. Officially. Sorry, guys. Since this is, live-ish, unedited. This is what happens in real life. So Dr. Pepper is making it seem, and of course everybody else, making it seem as though he can get over this, or he can whatever, which, unfortunately, Mika, I do not believe this. Michael, unfortunately, I do not believe this for you. I believe you have a serious problem, especially since you keep referring to your past. You keep referring to your childhood, your adoption that happened when you were not that happened when you were a baby. You keep referring to that. I mean, even though, yes, I mean, you grew up knowing that you're adopted, okay? But because you keep referring to like these events of your childhood, I do not believe that you started lying 30 days ago. I believe that you have been making up lies and living a kind of fake or whatever, insecure life for years, So, yeah. So there's this weird thing that they are making it seem like this is something that they can just overcome in the next 30 days or continue to grow from, whatever. Absolutely not. Now, Michael needs serious therapy. He needs serious help. And he needs to be alone when he does it. And so to not bring an entire wife / potential family down. Anyway, so 1 month anniversary. Michael does do a nice thing, initially by cooking Mika breakfast and giving her, a very nice menu to choose from. Mika lets, I don't know if she really lets Michael know, but she lets the audience know that she does not like breakfast and that she doesn't eat breakfast, and that she doesn't eat breakfast, I believe. Or she doesn't like breakfast. Something needs to be cleared up. And I'm just like, so my guess is Mika does not eat breakfast, period. And so she is not feeling it. But we know that Michael's favorite food and favorite meal of the day is breakfast. I mean, so that couldn't be a worse match, right? Should never be a deal breaker, but that's one of those things where it's like, woo, someone who needs 10 alarms to wake up, presses snooze 10 times, and then someone who wakes up naturally, no alarms, and hates anything like that. I mean, worst match, right? And unless the natural person wakes up, a good half hour before this person does, and will never be in the room when, the alarm starts going off. So he is super happy to cook this for her, and of course some people will be like, well, then don't cook that for her if you know that she don't like it, whatever. Maybe he doesn't know, and whatever. Okay. So, I mean, he's having the time of his life, and Mika is just sitting there all melancholy, just like, and I mean, Michael is it's just the right amount of salt and pepper, just like not too much, not too little. I mean, it's just perfect. Just the seasoning is just perfect. I'm just like, salt and pepper? It's just, you talking about salt and pepper as being just the special seasoning in your breakfast food, Michael? Salt and pepper. This is basic. So, and then he asked her something about grits, like her preference with grits and what kind of grits she like or whatever. And I knew this was going to come out of her mouth. Even though they technically live in the South, being below the Mason-Dixon line. She was like, I never have grits. I don't eat grits. And he was like, you don't know what you're missing. He was like, I like my grits with chicken, whatever. I was like, I have never heard of grits with chicken, whatever. I've never had grits. I've had cornmeal. I've had cream of wheat. Is it something like that? I don't know. Anyway, so he had a great time. What I will say to Mika is, 1, Mika, do you despise breakfast food? Because if you are at least open to breakfast food, you could always be like, Michael, I do not like eating before noon. Or I don't eat, my first meal of the day is like after 1 p.m. My stomach does not open up until then. You could always do breakfast for dinner. That is a nice, easy compromise. People do that, okay? And I think it's very fun. I've had that. Enough people have had that, okay? And then if it's, or if it's that you despise breakfast foods, like you literally hate eggs anything eggy. You do not like pancakes, crepes, waffles, anything sweet. Then you just have to let him know. Moving along. Michael's day thing, whatever, for her is that they go out on a boat. Then they look at their wedding. They look at their wedding album, and they enjoy looking at the pictures. And then he presents her with his gift. Michael went all out, y'all. And I think we saw this in the preview from the last week, but I think we were just like, what? They ain't no way. So remember, Mika's favorite thing is travel, and she has this very, what's the word I could use? I mean, it's adventurous, but it's also, to me, that just sounds expensive. And how, I mean, I just, I don't know if it's not how common, but like, you know, when I think about swimming with dolphins, I just always would think like SeaWorld. That's just, to me, that's just something that you set up with SeaWorld. If there's not SeaWorld, I don't know where I would go to set that up, you know? That's just me. Again, that's because that's not something that I would think to do. I'm not a water sports type person. But Mika is somebody, she said she has done this in several countries. She has swam with dolphins in several countries. So Mika is doing it in her 25 years. And my other thing is, if you graduate from college around 22, how many times have you done that within the last 3 years? Because were you doing this as a broke college student? Because most college students are broke. And if you're not, where did you get that money? But anyway, my girl, that's her favorite thing to do, or that is something that she always has her sights on to do when she travels. So Michael is just like, this is not something we got to do when we were in Panama. So I booked us a ticket to go do this in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. And you would think that, you know, Mika would be like, oh, hi, we going to Jamaica. Oh, we about to do my favorite thing. Like, you would think that she would be like, oh yeah, look what my husband's here. Mika was like, no joke. Oh, wow. Wow, really? That's really cool, Michael. This is really nice. Thanks. Wow. Okay, I look forward to this. And she just let us know in her her personal interview, that she was like, it's really nice to see that Michael's trying, but she was just like, I just, you know, given everything that has happened, she's like, I just hope he's telling the truth. And it was like, dang. See, that's the whole thing. It's just like, Michael, your reputation over the past month has really taken you to this point to where your wife of 1 month cannot truly celebrate in your 1 month gift because she thinks that you lying, bruh. She think you lying. She can't trust you. Done said that you were a yoga instructor, but instead you the janitor. Ain't nothing wrong with being a janitor. You got that part-time job. You get them free yoga classes. That's okay. Hey, that's a perk. You know? But then you over here explaining, oh no, it's just that, you know, when some teachers couldn't make it, you've subbed in a couple times. That ain't a teacher, Michael. You ain't a teacher, Michael. You ain't certified. So, yeah. So now the whole world is looking to see if those tickets are legit. Okay? Twitter was saying that, you know, was predicting that Michael and Mika are going to have to sit through a bunch of timeshare presentations in order for their trip to be legit. Woo. You know, anyway. Yeah, so that's pretty much their that was pretty much their 1 month. Moving on. All right, Brandon and Taylor. Um, Brandon stormed out of um, Brandon and Taylor's meeting with Dr. Pepper last week and was just like, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. So why they're meeting again this week, I don't know, but he meets Taylor at a nail salon and, you know, he starts to get his nails done while Taylor is getting hers done. And so she says that, hey, and you know, she's like, I was working. I had a long day yesterday. I was working. She was like, but I also got you this card. And he was like, oh, okay. You know, appreciate you, kiddo. And then he was like, if I knew that you were getting me something, I feel bad because I didn't get you anything. Why are you even saying that? Why are you even saying that, Brandon? That's not genuine. That's just like something that people say, you know, like when it's like a gift. This is a card. She's clearly there to like tell you something there ain't no gift in there, Brandon. If you have nothing to say to her, then why? Just shut up. Okay? Anyway, so he opens the card, reads the card. His personal interview is you hear it's basically a voiceover as you see him reading the card, and he explains that he's in reading the card, he realizes that it is an apology from Taylor, and that he's realizing that she finally apologized after all this time. To me, it's all this time. It was just, clearly it's been a couple days. It hasn't been a month since you made the video, Brandon. It's been a couple days, whatever. And then since you saw her at Dr. Pepper's office, it's been a couple days. Pipe down. So they're both so dramatic. So he is like, she finally apologized through the letter, and he's just like, eh. Then the next thing is like, and I just don't know if it's genuine. Okay. And then he's like, okay. And then, so she's watching him read it. And he's like, okay. And I don't know if she said first, like, what do you think? Or, whatever. And I don't know if he then said what he doesn't know what to think. Whatever. At some point, he says that their conversations always go south, and she ends up blaming him for his behavior in Panama. And she's like, no, it doesn't always go to me talking about your behavior in Panama. It kind of goes south with you saying or expecting that I am, or that you're thinking that I'm or anybody is against you. And that's not what's happening. Which, in that respect, I would say, yeah, you're right with that one, Taylor. That I can see. Because Brandon is definitely a little bit conspiracy theory about himself. Like, people are out to get me. And, that's what he said when he talked to Pastor Cal the first time after coming back from Panama. And so she was like, but that's not to be on Taylor's side. I just agreed with that point. And then she kind of said, like, do you want to be friends, Brandon? And he was like, honestly, no. And then in his interview, he's just like, I got enough friends. Like, I didn't come to Married at First Sight to find another friend. And then it's just like, oh gosh, like even just that kind of mindset is like, are you kidding me? Like, it's like, because in the letter Taylor also did say that she wanted to, you know, in her apology, she did admit that she wanted to build a friendship with him that could then work towards, you know, their marriage. You know, and then that's when he wants to get all literal, like, I don't need another friend. I got friends. I got a good enough personality to have friends. He did ask her, how would you feel if I had made that video about you? Like, would you have liked it? Would you have been okay with that? Jen, that's a fine question to ask. Here, Taylor. I mean, if you explained it to me as to why you did it, then yeah, it would have been okay. Yeah. Taylor, kick her off. Kick her off. Off the show. Kick her off. Kick her off. I'm like, it's like one of those, to me, that was an elementary question. Like, when you ask a bully who's going around hitting kids, you know, like, how would you feel it if kids went around hitting you, or the kid that goes around, you know, stealing other kids' snacks? Like, how would you like it if you had all these snacks and they were yours, you brought them from home, and other kids just came around snatching them from you? The answer is, I wouldn't like it. That is the correct answer. It truly is not an opinion. The answer is, I wouldn't like it. That is the correct human, normal answer, okay? And she's like, no, I mean, if you explain it to me, it would have been fine. I would understand. I'm actually surprised that Brandon didn't call her on that answer a little bit more, and been like, you're psycho. Like that? How is that your answer? But yeah, he kind of just went off like, it just seemed like you were trying to send a message to me and call me out or whatever, which is absolutely true. Like, you should, like, you just say like, no, you just don't want to own up to it. You don't want to directly own up to it. You subbed me, you know, like, it's just clear, like, whatever. I mean, it's like, then why were you apologizing? I mean, she did apologize and say that, like, I didn't mean to hurt you, but if I did, I'm sorry, you know. Anyway, so in the end, he just said that I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm happy that we had this conversation on TV. I'm guessing he's saying that for the record, which is true. That's good, you know, because in the end, it really just showed, like, first of all, both of y'all are clearly not well matched. I do not know why Pastor Cal was recorded saying that even though the things that these two did to each other in the past were not good, they were bad, but these two can work it out. Whatever. Pastor Cal, where? What? Pastor Cal, I'm gonna pray for you, Pastor Cal. Where? What? What in where what? Pastor Cal, these two, one, they're not good picks for the show. Two, these two are not good picks for each other. No, they're not. Unless you have some kind of really intense counseling for them. You guys left them for the wolves, like, to be eaten by wolves. Like, they are broken people. I don't know why I'm doing this. They don't have skills. They don't. Anyway, moving along from them. Y'all, let me know. If this was a live, I would have been asking you guys questions along the way and seeing what your comments were. That would be fun in a live. It really would be. But get the comments section popping. In my episode 9 review, I think I was asking more questions and talking about the fact that the comment section be popping. So anybody that doesn't you know, get in with the comment section be missing out, okay? Probably saying this in the middle is probably not helping so much, but also, if you like this video, thumbs up. Anyway, last crazy couple, Mindy and Zach. Okay, so Mindy, their segment actually starts out with Mindy giving Zach an ice skating lesson. I'm not going to say anything more about that because I don't want to show Zach in any kind of happy light or even them together with happiness. They go out for their 1 month anniversary, which to me doesn't make sense. Let me just get to the crux of it. Zach begins to gaslight Mindy. If you have not watched this episode, I would say this is the scene to watch. Zach deserves, except for the fact that awards are good things, Zach deserves an acting award / gaslighting award. I've never seen such great gaslighting. If there was a video dictionary, this scene needs to be this needs to be the video example. All of a sudden, Zach says, Mindy, you talk about how you have like given your all to this marriage and you've really put in a conscious effort. You put in a good effort, an honest effort. And he's just like, it's just, you've done some things that were not exactly honest. And you know what they were. And I honestly can't believe that you've done this. And hearing you talk about this honest effort that you've done, it's just like, I can't believe that you can sit here and still say that. And especially knowing that like your friends know about it and like, you know about it. We've talked about it even. And Mindy's sitting there just like, the hell are you talking about? Like, what? What's happening? And he's like, look, you did it before the wedding. You did it in Panama. You did it when you came back from Panama. I mean, it's just, come on, Mindy, think hard. Think about, just think, Mindy, think. Just, come on, you're a smart girl. Think. And she's just like, just tell me what exactly, and he's like, it's not my place to tell, Mindy. I mean, it's just not. She's like, how is it not your place to tell? You're the one accusing me of being dishonest. I don't know what you're talking about. And he's just like, no, it's just, look. He's like, come on. We've literally talked about it. And she's just like, what? And she's like, no, in the end, she basically gets up and just like, you're freaking full of it. You're lying. You're trying to make me feel bad. Like, this is what, like, essentially she realizes, like, this is how people make somebody feel bad, and essentially gaslighting. Like maybe a day or two later, she was in different clothing. She called Zach over to her apartment and just said, hey, I'm looking at our wedding pictures. Do you want to come over? At first, I was freaking out because I was like, why would she call him over to the apartment? This is crazy. But I thought about it afterwards and I said, somebody must have tipped her off. Somebody must have given her some information, a friend or somebody. Because I'm just like, when he came over, she started talking to him and again gave him an opportunity to tell her what is the evidence that he has. What is this that he is accusing her of? And she's like, if you don't tell me, you look like a liar. And he was like, oh, well then I guess I'll just have to look like a liar. And then she was like, okay. He was like, and then I'll take the label as liar. That's fine. And then she was like, okay. And then finally, Mindy just says, you haven't been talking to any of my friends, have you? And before, I watched the scene twice. And when I watched it again, I was like, oh, where would she get that question from? Like, why would that just pop up in her mind to just suddenly ask him? So I thought afterwards, I was like, somebody must have tipped her off and gave her that, bit of information to then suddenly ask him, because suddenly his face goes, and he was like, oh, because she was like, I mean, obviously you've been around some of my friends, and she named the couple that, perhaps had come over for like the friends, day that they had the friends over for, the friends event. And then he was like, well, your friend Lindsay has reached out. And she was like, oh, Lindsay? Huh. So then they switched back to the day of the wedding, and all of a sudden you see her friend Lindsay walk in. And I was like, oh, I remember that person. I remember her talking about her friend Lindsay, who almost couldn't come to the wedding because she was on vacation. So that's the friend. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I have so many thoughts. One, I just feel like, I know everybody has their own specific taste in people, but I just feel like, I just thought like, this thing is not about attraction for Zach. I think it's about control. And I think he just suddenly doesn't want to be controlled. He's not the person for this experiment, meaning he doesn't want anybody to pick for. I mean, I thought that from the beginning too, but anyway. He has been talking to Lindsay on Instagram and then on text message and then on the phone. He told Mindy that he only talked to her on the phone once. He told Mindy that anytime they text, they've only been texting about Mindy and about like how he's been struggling with Mindy. And she did say to him that was deceptive, and that she was like, you hate talking on the phone, so what was that about? But then he was like, well, it was only one time and I was driving. Okay. And she was like, don't you think you should have told me that you have been talking to one of my friends for a period of time? That is deceptive. And he just was like, he just kind of got wide-eyed or whatever. And she was like, especially since you just accused me of being dishonest. That is ridiculous. Anyway, so he just kind of slid out of the apartment like the slimy snake that he is. Then Mindy followed up with calling her friend Lindsay. She requested that Lindsay just be completely honest with her. She was like, this is just for the betterment of our friendship. Let's just hash it out. Let's just be honest. Like, that's just what I need from you right now. And so Lindsay was just like, oh, absolutely. Like, that's, I'm here for you. Right off the bat, Lindsay debunked or uncovered two of Zach's lies. One being that they had talked on the phone more than once. She was like, absolutely. He also had told Mindy that he had not talked to her for days. And she was like, oh, he texted me this morning. Talk about happy Friday and da-da-da-da-da. Like, so clearly it's like a happy Friday is a daily text. So they have been talking on the regular. And so then Mindy was like, okay, good. This is good. This is good. She's like, this is really helpful. Can you do me a favor and screenshot some of these texts so that I can have this as proof or whatever? She said, okay. She's like, now her voice is starting to quiver. And she's like, okay, this is the friend. Okay, she's like, well, I will do that. She's like, it's just that, let me go back in my phone. She's like, I'm just a little bit immature when it comes to these things because, she's like, when I just like don't want somebody in my life and, it's like, I just tend to like erase their number or I just try to like delete the text right away. Like if I don't just like want to hear from them anymore. And I just feel so like whatever about it. And like, I just like didn't want to hear from him. And like, and then I just started to feel really uncomfortable about things and da-da-da-da-da. And it was just like, what? Like things just got weird really quickly. And then suddenly, old girl slipped out. She also told Mindy and admitted that they definitely started to build a friendship outside of conversing just about Zach and Mindy's marriage and her trying to help him to be a better husband to Mindy. And they were just talking about things and whatever. And that's when she realized, like, okay, no, this is a little weird and uncomfortable and da-da. And so then she was like, I guess that's when she started feeling weird and uncomfortable and wanted to block him or not block him, sorry. And just wanted to start erasing his messages and wanted to talk to him or whatever. Then old girl messed up and was just like, no, and like, so like, no, and we're not going to talk until... she either said we're not gonna talk, or we decided not to talk again until after filming is done. And then Mindy was like, wait, what? You're gonna talk when filming's done? You guys are gonna continue your friendship when filming is done? And then her friend was like, what? And then she was like, nope. Like, I think her friend realized she let out a secret, or let out a decision that was made that she's now hearing back that clearly sounds like it. That sounds like when filming is done clearly means like, oh, right, if we talk when filming is done, it sounds like it's appropriate, but like, yeah, when filming's done means because then you won't be with Mindy anymore. Freaking idiot. Because then it'll be okay. Oh. Woo! Mindy got some bad apples in her life. But at least you know now, Mindy. Ooh. So, So then she just said, nope. The only thing I would have wanted Mindy to say, but you just said, was this a decision that you and Zach made or whatever? Unless they cut that from editing. So, guys, sorry, it's getting long. In the end, Mindy just said, because then Mindy was just like, why don't you just block him? Like, if you didn't want to talk to him, why don't you just block him? Mindy gets MOFFs this week because Mindy, in all of her, oh guys, look, I changed it to the round part instead of squishing it all on this side, right? Maybe I should just make it a little bit closer though, right? She gets MOFFs because Mindy kept herself together and was strong. She was clear and direct. She had her questions ready. And my girl, I mean, she said it too after, like, in her personal interview. She was like, Zach must think I'm dumb. Okay, let me tell you, Mindy deserves everything in this life. Mindy, girl, even though I've seen you act a fool on this here season, okay? But after this, my thing is, Mindy deserves, it's not so much that I want her to come back on the show. However, if she wants to, she deserves it to come back and then get a for real good match. But Mindy deserves free matchmaking services from like legit matchmaking. Mindy deserves $20,000 plus $10,000 plus free 3-week honeymoon plus a free vacation just for herself. Plus, you know, matchmaking free services until she finds a match, okay? And she deserves Zach to be kicked off right now. He doesn't, like, whatever stipend or whatever financial award or whatever that they are given after just participating in the show, whatever, because I do not know why he is sitting in a seat on decision day. I don't understand why he gets to be there. Get out. He deserves to be kicked off now. This is wrong that he gets to be on decision day. He does not get to be there. And Mindy ended her segment by saying she's just, both of them are liars. Liars. They absolutely are. Anyway, y'all, so that's it for this recap. This is unedited version of my recap, my review. I hope you enjoyed it. But anyway, this is how I'm getting up an episode the earliest to you guys probably this whole season. Let me know how you liked it, and also if I'm able to figure out how to do a live as soon as if I'm able to figure it out, and if it's something that is simple and easy once I figure it out, then I will try to do that as soon as possible, provided that the internet doesn't collapse with everybody being at home. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye.